I now welcome Rajat Shetty, and you can take take the charge and start. Those who cannot hear the audio properly can try switching to Facebook Live if you are facing any issues with the Zoom. So we can do that also. Okay, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rajit Shetty, your presenter for the day. Today, we are going to learn about the new topic in accounts, that is about subsidiary books. Uh, we'll begin without wasting any time. What is a subsidiary book? A subsidiary book is a alternate to the journal. That means you can use either journal or you can use subsidiary books. That it is completely at your description that you can use either journal or subsidiary books for recording a primary entry. Why did they create no subsidiary book? Why did they create alternative for the journal when the journal was self-sufficient? The main problem, because there was some limitation in the journal. So what was the limitation in the journal? Journal was uh, the there was problem in journal for the some type of entities, particularly for large entities, because the transaction covered in the journal is heavy. That means imagine the company ITC. There will be lakhs of transaction in a day. You can't record each and every transaction in the journal, because if at all you manage to record each and every transaction, but still you can't. The journal book will be too bulky. What happens if it is too bulky? There will be many problems, such as for storage. There will be storage problem of journal books, and there will be a number of problems. What accountants are doing is they are maintaining a special journal for this. This special journal is nothing but a subsidiary book. Uh, so a subsidiary book is nothing but a special journal is a journal which is categorized into certain books, that is cash book, purchase return book, sales return book, and a journal proof book. Let us understand this with a practical example. Imagine you have a lot of waste in your house, and there is only one dustbin. There is only one dustbin in your house, and you put all the waste in that dustbin. And later on, you find that one of your the most important document has gone through that dustbin. Imagine in that dustbin there is a organic waste. There are
One
glasses.
second.
There are
Uh, some students are telling you to be a bit loud, so, or you can hold the mic near you or something like that.
can
Is
you
everybody hearing it properly, or it is problem with one or two students only? Just write in the chat box. How is the audio? Because I can hear. I would prefer if you could also use headphones to the participants who are listening. It would give you a better clarity. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
uh, should I do from beginning?
No, no, from your itself.
Okay. uh, the problem in the this thing is journal is uh, the journal book will be a lot of bulky, so we have created this journal into certain category. I was telling about the example of the dustbin. Imagine you have a lot of waste in your house or workspace or anywhere. You put all the waste in one dustbin, and then you find that one of the most important document has gone through that dustbin. In that dustbin there will be organic waste, there will be other sort of waste which damages your the most important uh, paper. So it will be very difficult task to remove each and every waste and search for that paper, and your this the most important paper will be damaged. So what you can do is you can systematically uh, what you can do is you can systematically put categorize the dustbin. That is, you can see in the picture that is over here. uh, in this you can see in this picture that there is a category of dustbins. That is, for yellow dustbin is for plastic, green dustbin is for organic waste, and blue color dustbin is for paper. If you have put the most important paper in this dustbin, that is your paper dustbin, you can easily search that. In the same way, if you put all the entries in one journal, it will be very difficult to access the any particular transaction. Uh, and if you put it in a separate column, like imagine this is a cash book, you have put all the cash transaction in one dustbin. You have put all the you know the sales transaction in another green color dustbin, the cash book. So it will be very easy to access the the entries of the such particular transactions. So let us dig deeper into the to this topic. First is cash book. So as the name suggests, it is a cash book. That means all the cash related transactions are entered in this type of books. Uh, you know, or it may be any sort of cash transaction. You purchase goods with cash, you sell the goods with cash, you take loan from a friend, you give a loan to a friend. Each transaction involving cash in it should be recorded in the this type of book. It Another feature of this cash book is if you create this subsidiary book, that is cash book, you need not create a ledger. That means, as you have learned in previous classes, that first you have to create a journal, then you have to post it to ledger. Uh, then you have to post it to ledger. So if you create a cash book, then you need not maintain a ledger because it serves as both journal and ledger. So there are various types of cash book. That is, there are actually four types: a single column cash book, a double column cash book, a triple column cash book, and a petty cash book. Now we will understand about a single column cash book. Before that, I like Pushma to summarize whatever I have told.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Rachit, can you show the first slide?
Yeah.
Okay. आज हम बात करने वाले हैं सब्सिडरी बुक्स के बारे में. तो ये सब्सिडरी बुक्स क्या है? What is this सब्सिडरी बुक्स? सब्सिडरी बुक्स भी एक जर्नल ही है. What is the we last time जब हम इसके पहले के क्लास में हम पढ़ चुके हैं कि we had journal. हम जर्नल के बारे में सीखा है कि जर्नल में सब ट्रांजैक्शंस डेबिट और क्रेडिट रूप में हम उसको एंट्री करते हैं. अभी जर्नल के ये सब्सिडरी बुक्स कुछ नहीं है, उसको हम बोलते हैं एक स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ जर्नल. सो इट इज कॉल्ड स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ जर्नल. स्पेशल जर्नल को हम सब्सिडरी बुक्स बोलते हैं. तो ये कितने टाइप के होते हैं सब्सिडरी बुक्स? वेरियस टाइप्स के: कैश बुक, बैंक बुक, परचेस बुक, परचेस रिटर्न बुक, सेल्स बुक, सेल्स रिटर्न बुक और जर्नल प्रॉपर. अब जब एक जर्नल है तो फिर हम इनकी सबकी क्या जरूरत है?
It's still me. Yeah.
नाउ
Yes.
ओके, सॉरी. सो हम क्या बोल रहे थे कि जर्नल प्रॉपर की जरूरत, जर्नल की स्पेशल जर्नल की जरूरत क्या है? जर्नल एक बुक है जिसके अंदर हम सब ट्रांजैक्शंस, सभी टाइप के ट्रांजैक्शंस हम एंट्री करते हैं. अगर हम समझो कि हमारे पास ये स्पेशल जर्नल नहीं है और सिर्फ जर्नल है और एक बड़ा कंपनी है, जैसे रचित ने बताया आईटीसी कंपनी लिमिटेड का एक बड़ा कंपनी है, तो अगर हम सभी ट्रांजैक्शंस ये जर्नल के थ्रू एंटर करते हैं तो उनका जर्नल कितना मोटा हो जाता है, कितना बड़ा हो जाता है, उसको मेंटेन करना, उसके अंदर से कुछ ढूंढना निकालना सब बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. एग्जाम्पल ही उसने दे दिया है कि समझो एक कचरे के डिब्बा है अपना घर में, पहले की तरह जहाँ सब कचरे डालते थे, तो वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट था. अगर हमको उसमें से कुछ कागज या कुछ भी चीज ढूंढना हो तो वो संभव नहीं था. अभी हम इन सब को, ये सब कचरे को हम समझो दूसरे अलग अलग डब्बे में डालते हैं. ड्राई वेस्ट, वेट वेस्ट, ऐसे आजकल हम जो करते हैं वैसे डालते हैं. और हमारा कोई एक पेपर गुम गया हो तो उसे ढूंढना कितना आसान पड़ जाता है, हमें सबके अंदर खोजना नहीं पड़ता. उसी तरह देख, जर्नल, स्पेशल जर्नल जो है वो वेरियस टाइप्स के हैं. समझो कैश बुक, परचेस बुक, यानी कैश बुक में सिर्फ कैश की एंट्रीज होगी, परचेस बुक में सिर्फ परचेस की एंट्रीज होगी. परचेस रिटर्न जो हम परचेस करते हैं वो हम वापस देते हैं, तो परचेस रिटर्न की एंट्री होगी. सेल्स बुक, सेल्स की एंट्री होगी. सेल्स रिटर्न की एंट्री होगी. और जर्नल प्रॉपर में जो इन सब चारों में नहीं आते हैं वो जर्नल प्रॉपर में चले जाते हैं. तो इस तरह से हमको इजीली हम पता लगा सकते हैं कि हमारी एंट्रीज कहाँ पे है। अभी हम जाते हैं इनको थोड़ी डेप्थ में। कैश बुक, कैश बुक क्या है? कैश बुक का नाम से ही आप देख सकते हैं, कैश यानी रोकड़ा। तो कैश बुक में जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन हम करते हैं सिर्फ कैश में, जो भी रिसीट्स, पेमेंट्स, जो लोन्स, जो कैश में हो जाता है उसे हम कैश बुक में एंटर करते हैं। तो ये जो हम कैश बुक में एंटर करते हैं वो जर्नल और लेडजर दोनों के लिए यूज हो जाता है। अब कैश बुक कितने तरह के होते हैं? सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक, डबल कॉलम कैश बुक, ट्रिपल कॉलम कैश बुक और पेटी कैश बुक, आप ये देख सकते हैं। तो चलो हम एक एक की तरफ जाते हैं। चलो रचित, अभी आप हमको सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक सिखाएंगे। ओवर टू रचित।
Single column cash book. As the name suggests, there is a single column for an amount. Actually, there is only one single column for an amount in which you record only a cash transaction. Um, it is very identical to your cash account also. If you have seen a ledger account, it is similar to that. I'll show you a format for timing. Uh, this is a format for a single column cash book. You can see this side is a debit side and this side is a credit side. So there is a date column, there is a particulars, ledger folio, amount, date, particulars, ledger folio, amount. There is only one amount column, you should observe that. And here we record only cash transaction. We will not record any bank transaction. It is, as I said, it's very identical to a traditional cash account. Whatever, if any cash is coming into the business, then you have to enter on the debit side of the, uh, that format. That means you have to enter it here. If any cash is going out of the business, then you have to enter it on the credit side of the business. That is here. So at the end of the each month, you do all the entry. You enter in the that cash book, single column cash book. After entering in the cash book, what you are supposed to do is you have to total the debit and credit column. There will be a guarantee for sure. There will be a difference. That difference is nothing but the closing balance of this this cash book. That means what cash you have in your hand. So let us understand this single column cash book with an example. Imagine it's your birthday on 1/7/2020. You see your friends wish in your mobile, and suddenly you see check your wallet because friends ask for the party. So you check your wallet, you see that is you had 500 rupees. Then you went to a hotel to give party to your friends. Then on 1/7/2020 on that day only, you spent 200 rupees for the party. Then after having a Jodhar party, then you went to watch a movie. You spent 100 rupees for that. You had morning you had 500 rupees, then you spent 200. That means you had 300 after spending your food expense. Then you went for a movie, then you spent again 100. 300 minus 100. You had 200 rupees at the present moment. After going to the evening to the home, your father gave you 100 rupees as a gift. So you had 200 rupees, then you have extra 100 rupees came into your pocket. That means you had 300 rupees at the moment. That is nothing but no close the current cash you have in your hand. So you may be wondering what is balance with this BAL B slash D and BAL C slash D. It is a short form from to balance. This BAL is balance and B slash D is brought down. Uh, and here balance carried down. For time being, you understand that balance brought down is opening balance. What opening balance? Your cash, your wallet, what you had at the beginning of the day. Uh, Balance carried down is your closing balance. What you had at the while sleeping, you counted your wallet. You had 300 rupees in that. That is the closing balance. That we do not test balance carried down. So how did we find this? How did we get this 300 rupees? So first what you have to supposed to do is first you have to do the total of this debit column. 500 plus 100, 600. So here you had 600 and here you had spent 300 rupees. 600 minus 300 will be cash balance at the end of the day. That is 300 rupees. and at the morning of the day, next day, that is on 2nd 7th 2020, if you count your wallet, then it will be 300 rupees only, because cash won't give you interest for a day also. If by understanding this simple example, you might have got an idea that how the cash book is. Let us now understand towards like more complex problem, not very complex, but simple also. Imagine you have a business, you have your own business. On the fine day, that is on November 1, 2020, you had 30,000 rupees. Uh, you had 30,000 rupees, and on November 4th, you received cash from Gurmeet 12,000, and November 17th, you purchased goods from Karan in a cash. And November 27, you sold goods to Kamal for cash, and November 27, you purchased goods from Akash on credit. On November 30th, you promised amount to pay outstanding salary next month in cash. Let us see by one in detail. Uh, First, you have to write the date column, that is on November 1. So first November 1, you had cash in hand 30,000. As I said in previous slide, to denote the opening balance, we write it as okay by 2 balance brought down. So it is 2 balance brought down. That is 30,000 rupees. Then second transaction on November 4th, you have received a cash from Gurmeet, that is rupees 12,000 rupees. So you have received a cash. Imagine I have told you, if you have received any cash, that you have to record it on the debit side of the debit side of the that particular book. So you have to record it here 12,000. Why? Why do you have to record in a debit side of the cash book? Because cash is an asset account. Anything you debit on the this side of the portion, then automatically your cash balance is going to increase. Anything you are made a payment, then you have to enter it on the credit side. So you have received a cash from Gurmeet. Your cash balance is going to increase. That means the cash is coming into the business. If cash comes into the business, the cash balance is going to increase. To increase the balance, we have to enter on the debit side of the cash book. Now, before that, there is 12,000 rupees increase in cash transaction, cash balance. Why did this cash balance got increased? What was the reason? Because Gurmeet gave us the amount, so you have to write to Gurmeet. We'll see the next transaction. On November 17th, you have purchased the goods from Karan in cash. What happens? You purchase any goods from in cash. Wait, I'll show it. This is the cash. So whenever you pay a cash, your cash balance is going to increase. If you have bought any goods from cash, no one will give you goods for free. Okay, so you should pay for that. When you pay for him, that is Karan, your cash balance is going to decrease. Or I have told you that if cash balance is going to decrease, then you have to enter it on the credit side of the transaction, this thing book. So you have to write it on here 17,400. What was the reason for this deduction of the cash? The reason was you have purchased the goods, so you have to write by purchases. Let us analyze the next transaction. You have sold goods to Kamal for cash. Whenever you sell the goods for cash, your cash balance is going to increase because that particular person will give you a cash and you sell him the goods. So your cash balance is going to increase. If your cash balance is going to increase, then you have to enter on the debit side of that particular book. Let's see what we have done. We have entered here 46,200. So what is the reason for this increase in the cash book? We have to represent it here to sales. Because of sales, there was an increase in the cash balance, that is 46,200. Then we'll see the next transaction. On November 27th, you have purchased goods from Akash on credit. Credit means in Hindi I can say udar. So your Akash is your best friend. You went to him and asked for the goods, and you told him that I will pay you the money after 1 month. You didn't give any cash, so cash is not going to get affected. Cash will be nil. There will be nil effect. Either your cash is not going out of your business. So should we record it in the cash book? No, we should not record in such a transaction in the cash book which does not affect the cash balances. So we have ignored it here. See, I have not written anything here. Then on November 30th, you promised Aman, one of your employee, to pay his outstanding salary. That means, imagine it's August, no, it's November. November month salary, you told him that you will pay on December 20th or 30th, like that. So in cash, that too in cash. Is it the cash balance is going to increase or decrease due to this transaction? I don't think this the transaction will affect your cash balance, because you told him that you'll pay his salary in cash in the next month. As of now, the cash balance is not going to get affected. So we should not record such a transaction in a cash book. Two says there this much only how to write first for transaction in our example. Then I told you after recording all the transaction, you have to total the both sides of the debit side and credit side. See, if you total this much, you'll get 88,200. But here you have only 70,400. So what is the rest of this? That is the closing balance. That is 58,300. On November 30th, if you do a physical cash counting, that is, if you count your cash, how much cash you have in your business, you should get 58,300. That is balance carried on. As I said, balance carried on is nothing but closing balance. And on December 1, you have to you have to write as two balance bottom, because on December 1 it is your opening balance 58,300. The same balance should be here, because on November 30th at the end of the day, at the end of the business hours, you have counted it is 58,300. On December 1st, at the beginning of the business hours, you have counted it should be 58,300, because in between there is no cash transaction. So after after filling all the transaction, we have to put it in the ledger. I said if you maintain cash book, you need not maintain ledger account. You need not maintain ledger account of only cash, not of purchase. You should maintain ledger account of purchases and other other transactions like Gurmeet says. You have to maintain all that ledger account. Only exception is that for cash book, you need not maintain ledger account. See, I have maintained. I have put made a purchase a ledger account of purchase account. So here it is two cash by purchases in cash book. So it should be here two cash in purchase account, as you might have learned in the previous class. Why is that? In the same way, sales account I have made. Here sales account is in the debit side of the cash book. In sales account, it should be shown on the credit side of the sales account. So why is that? Because sales is an income to you. Anything there is a one rule in accounting. Okay, debit all expense and losses, credit all incomes and gains. If you have income, any income, you have to credit it. If you have any expense, then you have to debit it. That is, purchase account is an expense account, sales account is an income account. I'd like Pushpa ma'am to translate the whatever I done.
Yeah, please show me the first slide, Rachit. हाँ, तो हमने अभी देखा कि हम कैश बुक कितने तरह के होते हैं. तो पहले हम लेते हैं सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक. ये सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक क्या होता है? वो तो हमारा पुराने जमाने में जैसे हम बही खाते रखते हैं वैसे ही होता है। जस्ट जो कैश आता है वो एक तरफ लिखते हैं, जो हमारा एक्सपेंस होता है वो दूसरी तरफ लिखते हैं, और जो भी डिफरेंसेस है उसको हम हमारे हाथ में देखते हैं कि हमारे उस उतना है कि नहीं। तो सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक सिर्फ कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस को रिकॉर्ड करता है, उसमें रिसीट्स और पेमेंट्स दोनों होता है, और किस ऑर्डर में होता है, ये डेट वाइज ऑर्डर में होता है। और एट द एंड ऑफ मंथ, हर महीने के आखिरी तारीख में या एक दिन के आखिरी तारीख में, जैसे भी अपना हमने डिसाइड किया है उसका बैलेंस हम निकालते हैं। तो चलो हम देखते हैं कि सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक का रूप कैसा होता है। रचित, कैन यू प्लीज? हेलो हेलो, कैन एवरीबॉडी हियर मी?
Yes, one second.
हाँ, तो ये है हमारे सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक का रूप। सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक में हमारी एक तरफ डेबिट साइड है, दूसरी तरफ क्रेडिट साइड है। क्या क्या पर्टिकुलर्स है उसमें? पहले डेट आता है, पर्टिकुलर्स, लेडजर फोलियो यानी लेडजर में जो पेज नंबर है वो हम यहाँ लिखते हैं, और अमाउंट। ये हो गया डेबिट साइड। यही रूप में क्रेडिट साइड भी होता है, डेट, पर्टिकुलर्स, लेडजर फोलियो और अमाउंट। इस तरह हम डेबिट साइड में सब इनकम्स या रिसीट्स लिखते हैं, और क्रेडिट साइड में सब एक्सपेंसेस लिखते हैं। Can you please scroll this slide, Rachit? हाँ, तो चलो, तो हमने देखा कि कैश बुक में ये दो तरफ के होते हैं। सो नाउ हम देखते हैं छोटा सा एक कैसे दिखता है। चलो मान लेते हैं 1 तारीख को आपका बर्थडे है। बर्थडे के दिन आप उठते हो, देखते हो, चलो आपके फ्रेंड्स लोग आपसे पार्टी मांग रहे हैं, अपने पास कितना पैसा है? 500 रुपया। तो हम पहले तारीख को हमारे कैश बुक में हमको दिखाई देता है कि बैलेंस ब्रॉड डाउन का मतलब ये है कि हमारे पास जो पैसा है हाथ में उसको हम ब्रॉड डाउन बोलते हैं। फिर क्या होता है, हमारे फ्रेंड्स ने हमसे पार्टी मांग लिया, तो हम गए, होटल गए और खर्चा कर लिया। फ्रेंड्स के साथ जोरदार जमादार पार्टी हो गया। कितना खर्चा हुआ? 300 रुपीज। सो रचित, हाँ, सो 1 तारीख को हमारे फूड एक्सपेंसेस किसके लिए खर्चा हुआ? पार्टी के लिए, खाना खाने के लिए। तो फूड एक्सपेंसेस 300 रुपीज। सॉरी, 200 रुपीज। ओके, 200 रुपीज हमारा खाना हो गया। फिर हमने पिक्चर देखे, पिक्चर का 100 रुपीज खर्चा हो गया, तो वो भी हम क्रेडिट साइड में लिखेंगे, क्योंकि सब क्रेडिट एक्सपेंसेस जो है वो क्रेडिट साइड में आएगा, और जो इनकम जो है वो डेबिट साइड में आएगा। तो क्रेडिट साइड में हमने 100 रुपीज एक्सपेंस कर लिया। रात को घर आए तो पापा ने हमको गिफ्ट दे दिया 100 रुपीज, तो कहाँ पे आएगा? डेबिट साइड में, क्योंकि वो हमारा रिसीट है। तो गिफ्ट फ्रॉम फादर 100 रुपीज। अब कितने बचे हमारे पास? तो हम 1 तारीख के शाम को हम देखते हैं कि हमारा बैलेंस हमारे पास 300 रुपीज है, 300 रुपया बैलेंस है। तो ये 300 रुपया बैलेंस हम कैसे मिला हमको? 500 रुपीज हमारे पास जो पहले था, 100 रुपया हमारे पापा से हमको गिफ्ट मिला, तो टोटल हो गया 600। ये 600 में हमारे खर्चा हो गया पार्टी को 200 रुपया, पिक्चर देखने के लिए 100 रुपया, तो बैलेंस हमारे पास कितने रह गए? 300 रुपये। ये बहुत इजी। और ये 300 रुपये हम नेक्स्ट डे 2 तारीख को वो बैलेंस कैरी डाउन हो गया, CD यानी कैरी डाउन। ये बैलेंस हम नेक्स्ट दिन के लिए ले जा रहे हैं, कैरी करके ले जा रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए हम उसे कैरी डाउन लिखते हैं। और 2 तारीख के एंट्री में हम ब्रॉड डाउन लिखेंगे, उसको कैरी करके हम इधर लेके आए हैं, ब्रॉट की, इसलिए उसको ब्रॉट डाउन बोलते हैं। तो इस तरह से सिंपल कैश बुक। अब आपको कैश बुक के एंट्रीज तो आपके माइंड में आ गया होगा कि कैसे करना है। चलो एक दूसरे एक थोड़ा और बिजनेस की तरफ से जाके हम देखते हैं कि इनको कैसे हम कैश बुक में एंट्री करते हैं। तो पहले ये एंट्रीज आप देख लीजिए। कैश इन हैंड हो गया 30,000, रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम गुरमीत 12,000, परचेस्ड गुड्स फ्रॉम करण 17,400, sold goods to Kamal 46,200, purchased goods from Akash on credit 15,000, promised Aman to pay outstanding salary rent 3,500। अब एक एक करके हम इनको एंट्री करते हैं कैश बुक में। तो कैश इन हैंड हो गया, कैश ब्रॉट डाउन, तो हम डेट डालेंगे पहले, फिर पर्टिकुलर्स, बैलेंस ब्रॉट डाउन 30,000। नेक्स्ट एंट्री हो गया, हम क्या किया, परचेस किए। Next entry would be purchases. You can enter all this. I will explain. Yeah. तो next entry था हमारा November 17th को purchases 17,400। तो वो आ गया 17,400 अपने लिखा, और बाई किस चीज के लिए, परचेस, सो इट विल कम एज परचेसेस। उसके बाद हो गया November 4th को we sold goods to Gurmeet 12,000 rupees. We gave Gurmeet. Rachit, please go back to the slide. Rachit, can you, yeah. हाँ, so cash received from Gurmeet. It was cash received. Cash received means what? ये cash receipt है. तो you say it is cash received from Gurmeet 12,000 rupees. So received from Gurmeet. इसके लिए हम लिखते हैं to Gurmeet. Then you have sales. Sales, that is also, जो भी हम सेल्स करते हैं उसका हम रिसीट होता है, sold goods to Kamal for cash. So cash sales, यानी you received cash. So that is why you write to sales 46,200 rupees. Now we are seeing the other entries. So now you say purchase goods from Akash on credit. तो हम देखते हैं कि इसमें हम परचेस करते हैं, आकाश तुम्हारा दोस्त हो गया, तुम जाके उसके पास से जो भी तुमको सामान चाहिए वो तुम खरीद के लेके आते हो, मगर पैसे नहीं देते हो। तो पैसे नहीं देते हो, सो योर कैश अकाउंट डज नॉट इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज। तुम्हारे कैश में, तुम्हारे बैंक में से ना तो पैसा जाता है, तुम्हारे कैश से नहीं तो पैसा आता है, कुछ भी नहीं होता है। तो इसके लिए हम ये एंट्री को हम नहीं डालेंगे। कैश बुक में सिर्फ कैश का डीलिंग्स हम डालते हैं, तो ये एंट्री हम नहीं करेंगे। उसी तरह से November 30th का जो एंट्री है, प्रॉमिस्ड अमन टू पे आउटस्टैंडिंग सैलरी, यानी हम अमन को प्रॉमिस करते हैं कि हम तुम्हारा सैलरी जरूर दे देंगे। तो ये प्रॉमिस के वजह से हमारा कैश में कुछ इफेक्ट नहीं होता है, इसलिए हम ये 3,500 भी एंट्री नहीं करेंगे। अब चलो देखते हैं इसको कैसे बैलेंस करते हैं ये कैश अकाउंट को। ओके, तो ये से हमने बैलेंस ब्रॉट डाउन हो गया। एक तरफ जो भी हमारी रिसीट्स है वो उसने हमने लिख लिए, दूसरे तरफ हमारे जो भी पेमेंट्स में वो भी हम लिख लिए। तो फिर इनको हम बैलेंस किया। बैलेंस, इस स्लाइड में थोड़ा सा बैलेंस गलत लिखा है, उसमें ठीक है, आप बैलेंस करेक्ट कर लेना उसको। तो बैलेंस क्या है कि बैलेंस इसमें जो भी है 58,300 जो भी है वो हम नेक्स्ट अकाउंट को लेके जा रहे हैं। ये जो अमाउंट है कैश, ये हम नेक्स्ट ईयर यानी December 1st को हमारा बैलेंस जो भी है वो we are carrying it down to the next month, December 1. Now we will see how, हम देखते हैं कि ये कैश बुक की एंट्री कैसी होती है लेडजर में। तो हाँ, तो ये हम देखते हैं कि परचेस अकाउंट, हम पोस्टिंग अभी अपने को एंट्री बाय एंट्री नहीं करना पड़ रहा है इधर, समझ गए? तो हम सिर्फ परचेस अकाउंट, टोटल परचेस अकाउंट जो है वो 17,400 कैश परचेसेस, हमारे महीने का कैश परचेसेस एक ही एंट्री लगाते हैं। और सेल्स अकाउंट में कैश जो है वो, जो हमारी सेल्स अकाउंट में कैश सेल्स जो था वो इंक्रीज हो गया 46,200 का। अभी आगे के देखते हैं रचित हमें क्या सिखाते हैं। रचित,
Hello, hello.
I have made you the co-host. You can also mute and unmute yourself.
Okay. Here in this slide, there was a slight mistake. The balance carried down is not 58,200. It is 70,800. Uh, how did you get this? 88,200 minus 17,400 will be 70,800. I don't know if we can understand this. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's 70,800. In the same way, balance bought down also will be 70,800. So, and you might have understood, or you might have got an idea like what is a single column cash book. Let's jump on to double column cash book. Uh, there is, as the name suggests, there is a two column in the amount. That is, uh, there will be bifurcation. There will be an amount column. In that amount column, there will be bifurcation. That is for cash and that is for bank. You include bank also in this book, in this type of book. As the name may be cash book or double column cash book, but you can include bank also because there is not much difference in cash and bank. When you see a big companies their financial report, they write it as cash and cash equivalents. They don't bifurcate between cash and bank. So they have created another column in this. So cash and bank. Let us see the format how it is. As I have said, there is a amount column. Amount column is bifurcated into two. One is cash and another is bank. In the both side of the debit side as well as credit side. So, what is the specialty between double column cash book? Only specialty is there is only two column, that is for cash and bank. There is not much difference between single column cash book and double column cash book. It is the same way how you balance. It is similar to single column cash book. Here also on the all the debit side, if you want to increase the cash balance or bank balance, you have to enter on the debit side. If there is if there is any payment so, or if any cash is going out of the business, then you have to enter on the credit side of the cash book, double column cash book. So uh, let us understand a new topic in a double column cash book. You get a new topic known as contra entry. So let us understand what is contra entry. Uh, so if imagine there is a transaction, you sold something for cash. You have sold something for cash. So I'll write here as cash to show you how the cash and bank account is going to be affected. So this is cash. If you can't understand, this is cash and this is a bank. So when you sell something for when you sell for cash, when you sell your goods for cash, the cash comes into your business. Therefore, your cash balance is going to be increased. As I was said in single column cash book. So how will you write? If your cash balance is going to increase, then you have to enter on the debit side of the debit side of this book. So imagine there is a sales of rupees 3,000 rupees. 3,000. So what is the reason for this increase in 3,000? That is due to sales. So you have to write here two sales. This is sales, okay, two sales. So you have written only one entry. What if there is an entry which affects both cash and bank? You may imagine how it is possible. Just think an scenario. You you have you don't have enough cash in your in your business. The cash is you are getting empty. So uh, in your bank account there is a huge amount of balance, say 1 lakh rupees. In your cash balance, in your cash box, there is only 1,000 rupees. So you want cash, you go to what you'll do, you go to bank, you withdraw money from the bank. So what does happens? Your cash balance is going to get increased because you have withdrawn from the bank. You bought it to your business place. Cash is going to increase. And what happens to your bank account? in your bank account, your bank will decrease your bank balance because you have withdrawn it from a bank. So how does this affect on this transaction? How will be shown in this cash book? So your cash balance is going to increase. That is, I'll write it here because your cash balance is going to increase by, say, you have withdrawn 2,000 rupees. This is 2,000. And what is the reason for the increase in the cash balance? That is, you have withdrawn from bank. You cannot write to withdrawn from bank. You have to write to bank account. Uh, you have wrote to bank account. If you write only this much, don't you think the transaction is incomplete? Why? Because you made changes in cash account, but you did not make necessary changes in your bank account. You must see that the cash in our bank account is getting decreased. Your balance is getting decreased. We do not show any effect in here, so we have to show it. Your bank balance is getting decreased, so we have to enter on the credit side of the this book. So the same amount you have withdrawn, 2,000 rupees, same amount will be written here because your bank balance will be getting decreased by this amount, 2,000 rupees. So what is the reason for the decrease in the bank balance? That is due to because you have withdrawn from the bank. When you withdraw, you get cash. So cash is the reason. So we have to write it as by cash. You might have observed that this type of entry, this type of transaction is affecting both the side of the debit as well as credit. Here also it is getting affected. Here also it's getting affected in a single entry, both debit side and the credit side. That is nothing but a contra entry. And in definition of contra entries, any entry which affects both cash and bank accounts is called as a contra entry. Imagine you have deposited cash in the bank, or we have withdrawn cash from the bank. That is contra entry. Let us understand in the detail what the contra entry is with an example, business example. On 2020 September 1st, you had a bank balance of 42,000. On September 1, again, you had a cash balance of 15,000. And on September 8, you have sold goods for cash on 6,000 rupees. On September 13th, you have purchased machinery by check by paying a check. Check is an instrument of the bank. So if you pay a check, your bank balance is getting affected. So 5,500. September 16th, you have sold goods and received a check. 4,500. On September 17th, you have purchased goods from Maria in cash, that is 37,400. And September 27th, your cash withdrawn from the bank, 10,000. We will concentrate only on this transaction, that is transaction on September 27th, much more because it is a contra entry transaction. So this is I have made an answer. So first thing is bank balance. I have said you anything it's the opening balance. On September 1, opening balance of bank is 42,000. So we have to represent it by two balance brought down. So in the cash column, what is the opening balance of cash? That is 15,000. So we have to write it as 15,000 here on the cash side in the cash column. And the same way, your opening balance in bank was 42,000 on that day. So we have to write in bank column 42,000. So by this way, we bring down the opening balances. On September 8, you sold goods for sold the goods for cash. Wait, I'll write it here cash for your understanding to show you how the transaction is affecting the cash on bank. Okay. When you sell a goods for cash, your cash balance is going to get increased because the cash comes in, you sell the goods to him as a normal transaction. So if the cash is coming into the business, uh, your cash balance is going to increase. That is on 8th, you have sold sold the goods. That is rupees 6,000 rupees. In cash column, you have to write 6,000 here because you have to write on debit side because your cash balance is going to get increased. What is the reason for this increase in the cash? That is because of due to sales on 8th. We'll look on to next transaction. On September 13th, you purchased a machinery by paying by giving him a check. check, you might, many of you might have known what a check is. Check is an instrument of the bank. You have to give to the person, and that person will give to his banker and withdraw the cash. So here there will be no, like, cash is affected. Cash balance is not will not get affected because you are giving him a check. So your bank balance will be getting affected. You purchase machinery, you pay him through bank. So your bank balance is getting decreased. So buy machinery 5,500. On September 16th, you sold goods and received a check. This time you didn't receive a cash, but instead you received a check. In check means you will go to bank and deposit it to the bank. So in turn, your bank balance will be getting affected. That is, your bank balance will increase. If your bank balance is increased, then we have to enter on the debit side of the cash book. That is here 4,500. 4,500. What is the reason for this increase in the bank balance? That is due to sales. You have to write as two sales. On September 17th, you have purchased goods from Maria in cash. You have purchased the goods and you have paid the cash. When you pay the cash balance will decrease. In turn, your cash balance is getting affected. If cash is getting affected, then you have to enter on the credit side of the transaction. I mean, credit side of the book. So your purchase account is 37,500 in the cash column. What is the reason for this? Deduction or reduction in cash balance, that is due to purchase. We'll concentrate on this on more. September 27th, cash withdrawn from the bank. When you withdraw cash from the bank, cash is the cash balance will be increased and your bank balance will be decreased. Why? Because you go to the bank, you collect your cash, and the banker will not simply keep quiet. He'll reduce your bank balance. So imagine, first you'll concentrate on cash. What happens to cash? Imagine there is no this bank column is not there. There is only a cash column. What you have done? So your cash is getting affected. That is, your cash balance is increasing. So you have to enter on the debit side of the cash book. So I have entered 20,000 here on the cash book because your cash balance is increasing. What is the reason for your increase in the cash balance? That is due to your return from the bank. So you have to write to bank. Now let us concentrate on a bank column. We will ignore the cash because if you record only this much transaction, then the transaction is incomplete. We have recorded only half the story. We have to completely record the transaction. So now imagine this cash column is not there. How will you record the reduction in bank balance? You have to, as I told, if there is any payment, or if you have to reduce any bank balance or cash balance, you have to enter on the credit side of the transaction. In the same way, I have entered 20,000 in the bank column. So in the credit side, it is bank column. That means bank balance is getting affected or it is reducing. What is the reason for reduce? By cash. You have to write it as by cash. To denote it as a contra entry, we must write in this ledger folio column there has C, denoting it as contra entry. We can get to know that it is a contra entry. After finishing all the transaction, you have to total the cash column and bank column. On the debit side, you'll get 41,000 here and you'll get 46,500 here. Then you have to total the credit side. Of course, you'll get a difference. This difference is nothing but your closing balance. That is cash closing balance as well as bank closing balance. That is 3,500 for cash, 21,000 for bank. That means if you check on 30th evening after your business is closed, if you count cash, the cash balance will be 3,500. And on 30th September, if you ask your banker after your business transaction is over, how much is my bank balance in my account? He'll say 21,000. It should be 21,000. So this is about double column cash book. In the same way, I have posted it to ledger. There is purchase account and machinery account. I have debited the purchases because purchases is an expense account. Anything you debit, you know, there is a rule that is debit all the expense and gains, expense and losses. Sorry. So in the same way, I have debited this purchase account 37,500 because to cash account we have paid the cash and we have purchased, and machinery account you have paid you have paid a check, so your bank account is getting affected. So we have tried to bank. Machinery is also an asset. Machinery is asset to your business. So there is an asset. If you want to increase an asset, then you have to debit it in the same way as in cash. So to bank account you have to write. I'd like Lata ma'am to explain what are in Hindi.
ओके अब हमने सिंगल कॉलम कैश बुक सीखा था, तो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू द डबल कॉलम कैश बुक। ये डबल कॉलम कैश बुक क्या है? डबल कॉलम कैश बुक यानी दो कॉलम होते हैं कैश बुक पे। एक है जो कैश कॉलम है जो हमने अभी सीखा है, और उसके साथ साथ हम एक बैंक कॉलम भी डालेंगे। जो हमारे बैंक अकाउंट है वो बैंक अकाउंट का सब डिटेल्स हमको उस बैंक कॉलम से हमको पता चल जाएगा। और एंट्रीज ऑलमोस्ट सेम होता है, जैसे रिसीट डेबिट साइड में होता है और जो भी एक्सपेंसेस होता है वो क्रेडिट साइड में होता है। सेम उनका फंडा सेम है। ओनली द थिंग जो हम कैश में करते हैं वो कैश कॉलम में डालते हैं, और जो हम बैंक के थ्रू करते हैं उसको हम बैंक कॉलम में डालते हैं। तो अगर समझो हमारा बैलेंस है 3000, जो अगर कैश इंक्रीज हो गया तो हम डेबिट साइड में डालेंगे, और अगर कैश डिक्रीज हो गया तो हम क्रेडिट साइड में डालेंगे। मगर एक एंट्री जो है वो एंट्री हमको थोड़ा परेशान करती है। कौन सा एंट्री है? उसको हम बोलते हैं कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री। ये कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री क्या होता है? अगर हमारे पास कैश है, ज्यादा कैश है, और हम कैश को बैंक में डाल देते हैं, जमा कर देते हैं। हम कैश को, जब हमारे पास कैश होता है हम जाके बैंक में जमा करते हैं ना, तो हम कैश को बैंक में जमा कर देते हैं। जो व्हेन भी हम ऐसे जमा करने से क्या होता है, हमारे पास से जो कैश है वो हमारा कम हो जाता है। कैश कम होगा यानी कौन सा साइड में आएगा? क्रेडिट साइड में। जब कैश बढ़ जाएगा तो हमको कौन सा साइड में आएगा? रिसीट साइड में। तो कैश कम होता है तो हम बाई कैश 2000 रुपीज हम लिख देते हैं। मगर बैंक में भी तो हमने जाके बैंक में डाला है ना, तो बैंक में भी हमारा एंट्री में क्या होगा? बैंक तो बढ़ जाएगा, बैंक में पैसा तो बढ़ जाएगा, तो वो बैंक का अमाउंट कहाँ पे आएगा? वो डेबिट साइड में आएगा। चलो इसको हम और अच्छी तरह से सीख लेते हैं, थोड़ा एग्जाम्पल के साथ सीख लेते हैं। तो जो भी अकाउंट, जो भी एंट्री जो है दोनों कैश और बैंक में इफेक्ट होता है उसको हम कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री बोलते हैं। तो हम आगे जाके देखते हैं इसका एक एग्जांपल। चलो, हमारे पास बैंक बैलेंस है, कैश बैलेंस है, हम इसका अभी हम एंट्री करके देखते हैं कि ये कैसा हमारा डबल कॉलम कैश बुक या बैंक बुक दिखता है। देखो कैश बुक हमारा डबल कॉलम है, एक कॉलम है कैश, दूसरे कॉलम है बैंक डेबिट साइड में। वैसे ही क्रेडिट साइड में भी एक कैश कॉलम दिखता है आपको और एक बैंक कॉलम दिखता है। दोनों साइड में दोनों कॉलम्स दिखते हैं, इसके लिए हम इसको डबल कॉलम कैश बुक बोलते हैं। तो हम सितंबर महीने का फर्स्ट तारीख को, सितंबर महीने 1 सितंबर को हमारे पास बैलेंसेस है। हमने सम में देखा कि हमारे पास 15,000 बैलेंस कैश में है और 42,000 बैलेंस बैंक में है। तो ये हम इस तरह से लिखे, टू बैलेंस ब्रॉट डाउन। ये ब्रॉट डाउन हमारे पहले के कैरीड डाउन से हम इधर लेके आ गए हैं। क्या ब्रॉट डाउन करते हैं? और 15,000 रुपीज कैश और 42,000 रुपीज बैंक। अभी नेक्स्ट एंट्री क्या है? 8 तारीख को हम, यस, गो बैक स्लाइड रचित। सोल्ड गुड्स फॉर कैश, सोल्ड गुड्स फॉर कैश 6000, यानी 6000 रुपीज कैश सेल्स हो गया। कैश सेल्स यानी कैश अकाउंट में आ गया, क्योंकि हमारा कैश इंक्रीज हो गया है। तो हम टू सेल्स रिसीट साइड में यानी डेबिट साइड में हम टू सेल्स 6000 रुपीज लिखते हैं, और बैंक अकाउंट में हम बैंक कॉलम में हम उसको नहीं डालेंगे, बैंक अकाउंट में 0 अमाउंट है। नेक्स्ट एंट्री 13 सितंबर को, 13 सितंबर को क्या था? परचेस ऑफ मशीनरी, परचेस ऑफ मशीनरी 5500 एंड पेड चेक। ये चेक हम सबको पता है कि चेक एक बैंक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है। चेक कोई हमको देता है तो हमारे पास कैश नहीं होता है, सिर्फ चेक होता है। उस कैश चेक को हम बैंक में डाल के उसको क्रेडिट करवाना पड़ता है। तो मशीनरी, और इसलिए हम लिखते हैं 5500 मशीनरी परचेस्ड बाय चेक। तो ये बैंक कॉलम में आ गया, कैश कॉलम में नहीं आएगा। नेक्स्ट 17th को हम कैश परचेसेस करते हैं। कैश परचेसेस कितना? 37,500। सो पेमेंट होता है, इसलिए हम बाय परचेसेस 37,500 कैश कॉलम में लिखते हैं। ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम कैश कॉलम में लिखते हैं कि बैंक कॉलम में लिखते हैं, ध्यान देके लिखना चाहिए, नहीं तो लास्ट में हमारा बैलेंस रॉन्ग हो जाएगा। अभी उसके बाद 16th को हमारा सेल्स हुआ है। बैंक जो हम सेल किए हैं उसके लिए हमको रिसीट कैश में नहीं मिला, चेक में मिला। चेक में, चेक इज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ द बैंक, तो इसके लिए हम 4500 बैंक कॉलम में लिखते हैं। देन अभी जाते हैं हमारे मास्टर एंट्री की तरफ। मास्टर एंट्री क्या है? एंट्री पहला देख लेना आप रचित। कैश विड्रॉन फ्रॉम बैंक, कैश विड्रॉन फ्रॉम बैंक यानी हम बैंक में जाके हम पैसे निकाल के आए हैं, समझो 20,000 रुपया। इट इज नॉट 10,000, 20,000। ओके, सो वी हैव रिमूव्ड मनी फ्रॉम द बैंक। सो व्हेन वी रिमूव मनी फ्रॉम द बैंक, हमारा हाथ में क्या आ गया है? कैश। हमारा कैश बढ़ गया है, कैश इंक्रीज हो गया है। तो हम कैश कॉलम को इंक्रीज करते हैं बाई 20,000 रुपीज। रिसीट साइड में डालते हैं कैश कॉलम 20,000 रुपीज। अब ये पैसा 20,000 कैश कहां से आया? बैंक से, इसलिए हम यहां लिखते हैं टू बैंक। अभी बैंक में देखते हैं, बैंक में क्या हो गया? हमारा 20,000 रुपीज घट गया, इट बिकेम लेस। सो वी हैव टू राइट ऑन द, हमको लिखना है क्रेडिट साइड ऑफ द बैंक कॉलम। बैंक कॉलम में 20,000 हमने घटा दिया इधर। अभी ये क्यों घट गया? क्योंकि हमने कैश निकाला, तो हम इसके लिए यहाँ बाई कैश लिखते हैं। तो यहाँ घट गया और यहाँ ये बढ़ गया। तो ये देख लीजिए आपने कि दो एंट्री एक ही बुक में एक ही टाइम में हमको आता है। क्यों? बिकॉज ये हम कैश और बैंक दोनों कॉलम के लिए इफेक्ट होता है। ऐसे एंट्री को हम कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री बोलते हैं, और इसको हम सी लिखते हैं लेजर फोलियो के कॉलम में, इसको सी करके इसको लिखते हैं। तो हमको पता चल जाता है कि कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री, कितने कॉन्ट्रा एंट्रीज एक महीने में हमारे आता है, वो हमको पता चल जाता है इजीली। अभी हम ये बैलेंस करते हैं, तो हम पहले डेबिट साइड को टोटल करके लिख लेते हैं, बैंक के कॉलम में भी डेबिट साइड को टोटल करके लिख लेते हैं, फिर इनका बैलेंस निकालते हैं। तो हमको बैलेंस कितना मिला? कैश हमारे हाथ में 3,500 है और बैंक में हमारा 21,000 रुपीज है। ये हम अगले महीने को लेके जा रहे हैं, कैरी डाउन टू द नेक्स्ट मंथ। सो अगर हम अक्टूबर के 1 तारीख को हमारे कैश गिन लेते हैं तो हमको 3,500 रुपीज हाथ में रहना चाहिए। तो इस तरह से हमारा कैश बुक विथ डबल कॉलम हो गया है। तो हमको पता चल गया कैश बुक डबल कॉलम, कैश कॉलम है, बैंक कॉलम है। जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन कैश के रिलेटेड है, कैश के थ्रू है, वो हम कैश कॉलम में लिखते हैं, और जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन बैंक के थ्रू है उसको हम बैंक कॉलम में दर्ज करते हैं। और कॉन्ट्रा एंट्रीज जो कैश और बैंक दोनों में इफेक्ट होता है वो दोनों साइड के एंट्रीज में हो जाएगा और उसको हम सी लगाते हैं। तो हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। रचित, चलिए आगे बढ़िए।
Thank you, ma'am. Mm. Let us now understand what is next concept, that is triple column cash book. So you have understood what is single column cash book. What is single column cash book? There is only one amount for there is only one amount in which you record only cash. A double column cash book, in one and this there is amount column that is bifurcated into two, cash and bank. In triple column, in same ways, triple column cash book, and there is a single amount. This amount is bifurcated into three. What are that? That are cash, bank, and discount. There is three columns to record cash, to record bank, and record discount. Uh, this type of triple column cash book is nowadays it's not used. It's not famous because of the fact that no one wants to discount. No one wants to involve cash, bank, and discount only in one amount. It is very it looks very odd. It will be very confusing for someone who sees this type of book. The procedure is all same. The way you balance, this way you record the transaction on debit side. If you record any transaction, your cash balance is going to increase, or your for the matter of fact, your bank balance is also going to get increased if you record on the debit side. If you record any transaction on credit side, your cash balance, bank balance is going to decrease. Only thing is, you involve discount, or if you have got in any purchase, if you have got any discount, then you enter on the as such in particular column. There is only such difference, and there's not much a difference. And this type of triple column cash book is not widely used and not widely preferred by the accountants. I'll show you format of triple column cash book. This is triple column. As I said, there is an amount column. It is bifurcated into three. There is cash, there is bank, and discount allowed on the debit side. Because why do you have to write discount allowed on the debit side? Because discount allowed is an expense. There is a golden rule in accounts. Debit all expense and gains, expense and losses, and credit all incomes and gains. Discount received is an income, so you have to write on the credit side of this book. Will not solve a problem on this as it is not widely used. So I'll start a new concept, that is petty cash book. Uh, Apart from single column, double column, and triple column, there is a unique cash book known as petty cash book. So what it is, let's understand. Imagine you are a manager in a big company. Then you have your subordinates. One day you'll be very busy in forming a strategy for your business, all the big top level management decisions. Suddenly a subordinate comes and asks 100 rupees for the you are the only one who have access to cash and bank of your business. So a subordinate comes and asks you 100 rupees for a your for stationery. He wants some stationery for the office use, so he asks 100 rupees for with you. You'll give 100 rupees. After an hour, he comes again. He asks 50 rupees for post charges. Again, you give 50 rupees. Again, he comes again within an hour and asks 100 rupees for the to pay electricity bill. Now you are tired with him, so you tell him, you ask him like, what is the normal this petty expense, small expense, what will be the total expense in a month? He says around 2000. There will be expense of 2000 small expenses. So what you do is you give him 2000 rupees only, full 2000 rupees on then you ask him, you tell him, don't come again. You manage all the small expenses with this 2000 rupees. All you have to do is maintain a book in which I can get to know how this expense is allocated or utilized. So such a book is known as petty cash book. In petty cash book, you record all small expenses. The another advantage of petty cash book is, imagine if you record all the stationary expenses, all the small expense, for a matter of fact, postage, transportation charges, anything, conveyance. If you record it in cash book, your cash book becomes too no uh, I say too bulky. Uh, it defeats the whole purpose of the subsidiary books. Subsidiary books means to maintain it is as small as possible. So to make it in simpler, the petty cash book is used. Uh, uh, so this is about petty cash book. So this is a format of petty cash book. Here the format is quite different from single column, double column, triple column. As I said, petty cash book is a unique cash book. There is amount received on here. Here we have a date. Here you have particulars. Mentioning what type of expense it is. You have to write voucher number. For every expense you get voucher or a bill from vendor. You have to enter such number here. And then you have to enter what amount you have paid, and this is analysis of payments. Like you categorize the expenses, like for postage, you are you know you post something, you bought a stamps, small stamps, all that you enter in the postage. Convenience, what does convenience means? You enter all the transportation expenses in that, and all the other expense you can enter in the miscellaneous part. So let us understand it more by solving a practical example. Mr. Mohit, a petty cashier of MS Samera Traders, receives 1,000 rupees on May 1, 2020 from the head cashier for following other petty expense for the month. On May 2nd, auto fare of 55 rupees is paid. On 10th, postal stamps of 105 rupees. On 13th, erasers, all the stationery things of 225 rupees. And 18th, speed post charges, that is 98 rupees. And refreshment charges, 85 rupees. So how will you record in a petty cash book? First, you have to write as amount received, that is 1,000 rupees. You have received 1,000 from your head cashier. On May 1st, you have received. So May 1, cash received. On May 2nd, you have paid auto fare. You have to write it, voucher number. I did not write because it is not a practical example. But if you have got a voucher number for that, you can write it here also. So total amount paid for auto fare is 55 rupees. So before that, auto fare comes in this convenience part because it is a transportation expenses. So we'll write it here. On May 10th, you spend for postal stamps. You spend 105 rupees. So total amount paid is 105. In analysis of payment, postal stamp suits for postages. So we enter in the postage part. On May 13th, you buy erasers, sharpeners, and pencils. That is a stationery. So you enter in the stationery column. That is your purchase total of 225 rupees, and you enter in the stationery column. On November 18th, purchase speed post. You do a speed post. For that you pay the charges. That is of 98 rupees. That is a postage. You send it to someone. That is you have to write here 98 rupees. At the end of the month, you have to calculate what is the total amount of petty expenses. So the total amount of petty expenses is 483 rupees. In month of May, you have paid 483 rupees. The amount this the total of this must match with the total of this. 55 plus 105 plus 225 plus 98 is 483. 203 plus 55 plus 225 should match with 483. So at the beginning you add 1,000 rupees. You have spent 483. 517 is the balance. On June 1, you tell your boss that I have spent 483. So balance button is I have 517 as petty cash in my petty cash book, petty cash box, 570 rupees here. So he has normally 1,000 rupees is spent every month. So he gives you extra 483 once again in June month, so that the total amount is 1,000. Every month he makes sure that you have 1,000 rupees in your petty cash box. Sorry, and this is a ledger for petty cash account. I have said in cash book you did not maintain ledger, but in a petty cash book you have to maintain petty cash account because it, as I said, it is a unique cash book. You cannot compare it single column, double column, and triple column. So in petty cash book you have to maintain ledger account, and this is a ledger account for that. So on May 1st, you received a cash. So to cash, you have to write 1,000 rupees. You have received, so your petty cash balance is going to increase. So you have to enter on the debit side of the book, cash, your petty cash book. On May 31st, you had all the expenses, sundries of as per petty cash book. You need not write each and every this thing expenses. You need not write each and every expense. You can just write by sundries as per petty cash book. It means that refer petty cash book to know the details of expenses. That is 483. You had 1000 rupees, you spent 483, and the balance is 517. That is buy balance carried on. On the beginning of the month, you had 517, and again your main cashier or head cashier gave you 483 rupees to make sure that your balance is 1000 rupees. I would like Lata ma'am, Pushpa ma'am to explain this in Hindi.
ओके, तो हमने देखा डबल कॉलम कैश बुक कैसे किया जाता है। वैसे ही हमारा और एक कैश बुक है जो ट्रिपल कॉलम कैश बुक है। ट्रिपल कॉलम कैश बुक भी इसी तरह से है, कैश बुक की तरह जैसे ही है, और एक कॉलम ऐड किया जाता है, वो है डिस्काउंट कॉलम। तो ये 3 कॉलम के हो गए, कैश, बैंक और डिस्काउंट कॉलम। मगर ये ज्यादातर आजकल यूज नहीं होता है, बिकॉज ये नहीं माना जाता है कि इसका यूज है, इसके लिए हम ये ज्यादातर आजकल यूज नहीं किया जाता है। तो हम ट्रिपल कॉलम कैश बुक में बस बाकी सब अपना ट्रांजैक्शन सेम जैसे हमने बताया था कि ऑल रेसिट्स डेबिट साइड में आएगा, ऑल पेमेंट्स क्रेडिट साइड में आएगा, और जो भी कॉन्ट्रा एंट्री है वो भी आएगा, वो डबल कॉलम में जो आता है वैसे ही आएगा। ओनली एक्सेस एडिशनल एक डिस्काउंट कॉलम है, तो हम इसको स्किप करके सिर्फ इसका फॉर्मेट देखते हैं। प्लीज शो मी द फॉर्मेट। हाँ, तो इसका हम फॉर्मेट देखते हैं। तो देखिए, आप डेबिट साइड में आपको कैश, बैंक और डिस्काउंट अलाउड है। ये डिस्काउंट अलाउड क्यों है? क्योंकि हमारे एज पर रूल डेबिट ऑल एक्सपेंसेस और लॉसेस, क्रेडिट ऑल इनकम्स एंड गेन्स। तो इनकम जो होगा वो क्रेडिट साइड में होगा, एंड डेबिट ऑल एक्सपेंसेस, तो डिस्काउंट अलाउड हमको डेबिट साइड में आएगा। अभी हम जाते हैं पेटी कैश बुक। ये पेटी कैश बुक ये दोनों तरह से अलग है। कैश बुक, बैंक बुक, कैश और बैंक बुक से अलग होता है पेटी कैश बुक। ये पेटी कैश बुक का मतलब ही हमको है कि एक छोटे मोटे एक्सपेंसेस होते हैं। तो मानो बड़ा कंपनी है, बड़ा कंपनी में जैसे आपको रचित ने बताया कि बड़ा कंपनी है, बड़ा कंपनी में बड़ा जोरदार से मीटिंग चल रहा है, सब लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। तो हमारे कैशियर आके हमको बताते हैं, अरे हमको 100 रुपीज चाहिए ऑटो फेयर के लिए। फिर आता है 10 मिनट के बाद, हमको एक 50 रुपीज चाहिए स्टेशनरी परचेस करने के लिए। और फिर थोड़ी देर के बाद फिर आता है, चलो हमको दूसरा कुछ छोटे एक्सपेंस के लिए एक 20 रुपीज चाहिए। तो ये बहुत दिक्कत हो जाती है ना, दिक्कत यानी कमबरसम हो जाती है। तो पेटी कैश जो है वो ऐसे छोटे छोटे एक्सपेंसेस को जो मेंटेन करते हैं, तो हम एक कैशियर अपॉइंट करते हैं। कैशियर को बोलते हैं कि तुम ये छोटे छोटे एक्सपेंसेस जो है, डेली के जो एक्सपेंस है, आप वो मेंटेन कर लीजिए। आपका कितना होगा एक्सपेंस? तो बोलते हैं कि हमारा महीने का 1000 रुपया होगा। तो ठीक है, 1000 रुपया उनको दे देते हैं और बोलते हैं रोज का रोज तुम मेंटेन कर लो, महीने के एंड में हमको बता दो कि तुम्हारे एक्सपेंस कितना हुआ और किस किस के लिए हुआ। इस तरह से हम तुम्हारे जो भी एक्सपेंस आपने किए हम आपको वापस कर देंगे, और वापस आपका पैसा आपको कैश में मिल जाएगा। तो चलो देखते हैं कि हम पेटी कैश बुक कैसे मेंटेन किया जाता है, इसका फॉर्मेट क्या है। इसका फॉर्मेट थोड़ा अलग है। रचित, कैन यू ऑल हियर मी? हेलो,
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Welcome.
एम आई ऑडिबल?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, ma'am.
या तो आप देख रहे हैं कि पेटी कैश का फॉर्मेट थोड़ा अलग है। हमको पता चल गया है पेटी कैश में हमको रिसीट्स कम है और पेमेंट्स ज्यादा है। तो इसके लिए हम रिसीट का कॉलम छोटा रखते हैं और पेमेंट का कॉलम बड़ा रखते हैं। तो पेमेंट का कॉलम में हम देखते हैं कि डेट है, पर्टिकुलर्स है, वाउचर नंबर है, अमाउंट पेड है, और छोटे छोटे एक्सपेंसेस के हेडिंग्स है, लाइक पोस्टेज, कन्वेंस, मिसलेनियस। तो हम अगर ये हेडिंग वाइज हम उसको बाइफरकेट करके हम उसको हेडिंग वाइज उसको लिख लेते हैं, तो हमको महीने के एंड में हमको ये दिक्कत नहीं होगा कि चलो पोस्टेज के लिए कितना हुआ, कन्वेंस के लिए कितना हुआ, वो हमको एक एक करके हमको ढूंढना नहीं पड़ता है। इसलिए इसको हमने दूसरी डिफरेंट टाइप में हम ये पेटी कैश का फॉर्मेट बनाया है। एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं। मोहित, हमारे समीरा ट्रेडर्स के मोहित है हमारे पेटी कैशियर। वो बोलते हैं हमारे पेटी कैश 1000 रुपया होता है महीने महीने का, तो उनको उनके बॉस ने 1000 रुपया दे दिया और हेड कैशियर जो है उन्होंने उनको 1000 रुपया दे दिया और बोला चलो अभी आप अपना पेटी कैश मेंटेन कर लो। तो वो कैसे मेंटेन करेंगे? तो फर्स्ट में को उनके पास, तो ये इनका एक्सपेंसेस है मई का। चलो एक्सपेंस कैसे लिखते हैं हम देखेंगे। यू कैन एंटर ऑल द एंट्रीज। या तो फर्स्ट में को उसने कैश रिसीव किया अपने हेड कैशियर से, मोहित सर ने 1000 रुपीज। अभी उसका ऑटो फेयर 2 तारीख को उसका ऑटो फेयर 55 रुपीज। तो आप देख रहे हैं कि 2 तारीख में उसने पर्टिकुलर्स में ऑटो फेयर लिखा है, टोटल का एक कॉलम में 55 रुपीज लिखा है और कन्वेंस का कॉलम में भी 55 रुपीज लिखा है। 10 तारीख को पोस्टल स्टैम्प्स टोटल में 105, पोस्टेज में 105। 13th को इरेजर, शार्पनर, पेंसिल खरीदा जो स्टेशनरी है, तो वो 225 रुपीज टोटल के कॉलम में भी है और स्टेशनरी के कॉलम में भी है। 18th को स्पीड पोस्ट चार्जेस 98 टोटल के कॉलम में भी है और पोस्टेज के कॉलम में भी है। अब हम 31st मई को हम टोटल करते हैं, तो टोटल अमाउंट हमको मिल गया है 483 रुपीज उनका एक्सपेंसेस। और 203 कैसे, ये 403 कैसे आया? 203 पोस्टेज में हुआ, 55 रुपीज कन्वेंस में हुआ, स्टेशनरी में 225 रुपीज में हुआ। तो इस तरह से ये 483 रुपीज का बाइफर्केशन भी हमको मिल गया है। तो हम चीफ कैशियर के पास जाके मिस्टर मोहित बोलते हैं कि हमारा हो गया टोटल एक्सपेंस 483 रुपीज और हमारे हाथ में है अभी बैलेंस 517 रुपीज। तो मोहित सर, हेड कैशियर मोहित सर को 483 रुपीज जो उनका टोटल एक्सपेंस है वो उनको वापस दे देते हैं और उनका पेटी कैश बुक का अगले महीने जून 1 स्टार्टिंग में उनका 1000 रुपीज हो जाता है। तो हर महीने के हैंड में उसको, हर महीने के बिगिनिंग में उनके हाथ में 1000 रुपीज रहता है खर्चे के लिए। इस तरह से हम पेटी कैश मेंटेन करते हैं। अभी ये पेटी कैश को हम लेडजर में लिखना पड़ता है, क्योंकि ये पेटी कैश में से इसको कैश अकाउंट में लिखते हैं, नहीं तो लेडजर में डायरेक्टली लिखते हैं। तो इसमें हम, ये कैश बुक की तरह ही होता है। पहले हमको मिल गया मई 1 तारीख को 1000 रुपीज। ये कैश बुक में हम जैसे लिखते हैं वैसे सिंपल कैश बुक वैसे ही है, इसका एंट्रीज 1000 रुपीज डेबिट साइड में आ गया है। अभी क्रेडिट साइड में एक एक ना लिखते हुए हम सन्ड्रीज एज पर पेटी कैश बुक लिख देते हैं टोटल अमाउंट। तो सिर्फ एक अमाउंट लिखा जाता है जो महीने का टोटल एक्सपेंसेस होता है और इसका डिटेल्स हमको आपको पेटी कैश में मिल जाएगा, तो वापस हमको लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है। और जो बैलेंस है वो 517 रुपीज है जो हमारे हाथ में है और जून 1 को हमको वापस कैशियर से हमको मिला 483 रुपीज। इस तरह से पेटी कैश का एंट्री भी हो जाएगा। अब चलिए रचित साहब हमको आगे ले जाइए सब्सिडरी बुक्स में।
Thank you, ma'am. Let us now understand what is purchase book. As I said, there is a, as in beginning of the slide you might have seen, there is a differentiation like cash book. You have to maintain purchase book. So what is the purchase book? As the name suggests, purchase. In this type of book you have to record all the transaction relating to purchase except the cash transaction. Why should not we record cash transaction, cash purchases? And the answer is simple. You have already recorded it in your cash book. one it's you need not record again, and once you are recorded in cash book, it will be automatically get affected in the profit and loss. So you need not write it again in the purchase book. In purchase book, in simple, if I want to say, all the credit purchase जो उधार में लिया है, uh, uh, such type of transaction is entered in the purchase book. uh, so uh, so if for example, you are the accountant, the sales group of your company tells you that, calls you and tells you that, boss, we have made a sales of, we have made a purchase of, no purchase department of your company says that, your boss, we have made a purchase of 1 lakh rupees. You record it in your purchase book. So can you record such a transaction? No, you cannot, because there is a no proof. There is not a proof for a purchase. So what you have to do is, you need a proof of what is the proof of purchase book. That is a source document for purchase book. Document of purchase book is this thing, invoice. What you get invoice from your vendor. That is a source document. So if an auditor goes to your company, he will check your source document, that is invoice. He will not check your call logs, if how many calls you have made to your purchase department, whatever you have talked. He just sees your source document, that is invoice. The invoice must be there for recording such a transaction. Now aggregate amount of the total column of the purchase book tells you that the total credit purchase for the period. So how much ever credit purchase you have made in the period, the total amount of the purchase book reflects that amount. So this is a format of purchase book, and it is completely different from cash book. It is like it is a simple way of recording purchase book. It's fully simple. You have date column, you have invoice number, you have name. You should record name of supplier here. You have a ledger folio, and you have amount. So you record date here, you record invoice number, which you get in the invoice, invoice from the vendor. So let us solve an problem to get a better idea of this purchase book. So you are an accountant in ABC Electronics, a company, and for the matter, you are given invoices of recent purchases, and you are told to prepare purchase book. So what does this mean? Is you are given invoices of recent purchases. Invoices are this. You can see. Yeah, this is the invoice. There is a total of 3 invoices. That is, you have made 3 purchases, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So how do you record such a transaction? Solution. Let's record it in purchase book. On August 4th, 2020, your invoice date, invoice number as 3250. From Nima Enterprise, you got a mini size TV of 2020 quantity 2000 rupees at rate. You bought a mini size TV, that is total of 40,000, and you bought a smartphone from that Nima Enterprise, 15 smartphones at 12,500, totaling 1,87,500, and you got a discount of 45,500. So total is 1,82,000. So how will you record it in purchase book? As I said, this is not a cash purchases. This is a credit purchase. You asked the time with Nima Enterprise to pay the cash in the future period. Okay. First you have to write the date. First you have to fill date amount. Then you have to enter invoice number. Where will you get invoice number? This is the invoice number 3250. So we have to record that invoice in this column 3250. What is the name of the supplier? Nima Electronics. So total is 1,82,000. Where did I get this amount from? From the source document, that is invoice. This is 1,82,000. The balance due is 1,82,000. In the same way, let us record the second transaction on August 10th. The invoice number is 8260. The name of the supplier is Pawan Electronics, and you received that you have purchased 31,050 rupees of worth of goods. Is this correct? Let us verify. August 10th 8260, 31,050, having a discount of 3450. You have to record only net of amount, that is including discount, that is 31,050 rupees in your purchase book. Let us see the third transaction on August 18th. The invoice number is 4256. The name of the supplier is Northern Electronics, and you have purchased the goods worth 3,06,250. What you have to do at the end of the period is at the end of the month is on August 31st. You have to total all this purchase book purchase credit purchase transaction. That is 1,82,000 plus 31,050 plus 3,06,250, totaling 5,19,300. This total amount tells us the total credit purchase for the month, how much credit purchase we have made in a month. So this is all about purchase book. So then we have to enter on the ledger account. For example, I have taken only of Pawan Electronics in this example. Pawan Electronics, Pawan Electronics is a creditor for us, so he is a liability for our business. So anything if you want to increase in liability, then you have to credit it, because there is a rule for that. So I have written it 38,500 here. You have to maintain purchase account also. I said cash account you need not maintain ledger account. It is only for cash. In purchase purchase book you have to maintain purchase account, the ledger. So in purchase account you need not enter each and every transaction. So you can just enter 5,19,300 as we did in petty cash book. So two sundries as per purchases on August 31, you can write 5,19,300. That is purchases book. I would like Pushpa to explain the topic in Hindi.
थैंक यू रचित. तो पेटी कैश बुक हो गया, कैश बुक, परचेस बुक. अभी हम जाते हैं परचेस बुक. परचेस बुक क्या है? हमने देखा कि कैश बुक में हम लोग सिर्फ कैश परचेसेस, कैश सेल्स एंटर करते हैं. तो क्रेडिट परचेस हम कहाँ एंटर करेंगे? हम क्रेडिट में भी परचेस करते हैं ना, जिसमें हम सॉरी कैश नहीं देते हैं, वो परचेसेस को हम क्रेडिट परचेस बोलते हैं, और क्रेडिट परचेसेस को हम परचेस बुक में एंट्री करते हैं. तो परचेस बुक में वही एंट्री होगा जो क्रेडिट में होता है. ओनली क्रेडिट परचेसेस आर एंटर्ड इन द परचेस बुक. बाकी सब हम परचेस बुक. और दूसरा हमारा परचेस ऑफ ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट, फर्नीचर, बिल्डिंग, ये सब भी हमारा परचेस बुक में नहीं होगा. परचेस बुक में हमारा जो बिजनेस है, वो बिजनेस के वजह से जो हम परचेस करते हैं, बिजनेस के लिए जो हम परचेस करते हैं, उसको हम परचेस बुक में एंट्री करते हैं. अभी देखते हैं कि परचेस बुक का डॉक्यूमेंट, सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट क्या है. तो परचेस बुक एंट्री करने के लिए हमारा प्रूफ क्या है, डॉक्यूमेंट क्या है जहां से हम एंट्री करते हैं? वो है इनवॉइसेस. इनवॉइसेस और बिल्स जो हमारे सप्लायर्स हमको देते हैं, उसको हम सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट रख के उसमें से हम एंट्री करते हैं. और क्या एंट्री करते हैं? ओनली एग्रीगेट अमाउंट एंट्री करते हैं. जो हमको देना है, नेट अमाउंट जो है, जो बिल में है, वो देखते हैं. अभी चलो देखते हैं उसका फॉर्मेट कैसा है. परचेस बुक का फॉर्मेट इस तरह से बहुत आसान है, सिंपल है. तो इसमें डेट आता है, इनवॉइस नंबर है, जो हमारे सप्लायर ने हमको दिया है वो इनवॉइस का नंबर आएगा. वो जो सप्लायर का नाम होगा वो नेम ऑफ द सप्लायर हो जाएगा. लेडजर फोलियो, जो सप्लायर का अकाउंट है लेडजर में, उसका पेज नंबर हो गया लेडजर फोलियो, और अमाउंट. बस इतना ही होता है हमारा परचेस बुक. अभी देखते हैं. एबीसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हमारा सप्लायर है. हमारा एबीसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हमारा कंपनी है, हम उसके अकाउंटेंट है. तो हम ये परचेस बुक में हमारा एंट्रीज कैसे इंटर करते हैं वो हम देखते हैं. ये एग्जाम्पल है हमारा इनवॉइसेस का. इनवॉइस कैसा दिखता है? आपको तो मालूम ही होगा इनवॉइस क्या है, इनवॉइस कैसा दिखता है. ये इस तरह से होता है. इनवॉइस में हमको इनवॉइस नंबर दिया जाएगा, डेट दिया जाएगा, फिर बैलेंस जो है वो अमाउंट भी लिखा जाएगा, ये सब आप आपके राइट हैंड साइड में देख सकते हैं। और उसका बिल में उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन है। अभी हमने नीमा एंटरप्राइज या पवन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से हमने क्या खरीदा, एक डीवीडी खरीदा। डीवीडी कितना रुपए का है, 150 रुपीज, कितनी क्वांटिटी, टोटल अमाउंट, और नीचे हमने देखा है कि डिस्काउंट अमाउंट भी है और टोटल अमाउंट पेएबल भी हमको ये इनवॉइस में हमको दिखाई देता है। मगर हम परचेस बुक में कैसे एंट्री करते हैं, चलो देखते हैं कैसे करते हैं। अब हमने 3 बिल्स देखे। एक बिल इनवॉइस नंबर 3250 नीमा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का है, नीमा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का है। उसका नेट अमाउंट 1,82,000, उसमें नेट अमाउंट था, अमाउंट पेएबल। रचित जस्ट शो द इनवॉइस वंस। देखो 1,82,000 नेट अमाउंट है, ये नेट अमाउंट हम लिखते हैं इन द परचेस बुक। उसी तरह अगस्त 10 का बिल है, इनवॉइस है 8,260, पवन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से हमने कुछ खरीदा है 31, ये नेट अमाउंट है। और अगस्त 18 को नॉर्दर्न इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का 3,06,250। तो अगस्त महीने का हमारा टोटल परचेसेस हो गया 5,19,300 रुपीज। अब ये 5,19,300 रुपीज हमारा परचेस अकाउंट में आएगा, और परचेस अकाउंट में लेडजर में टू सन्ड्रीज एज पर परचेस अकाउंट 5,19,000 आ जाएगा, क्योंकि परचेसेस डेबिट हो जाता है। और हम एक ही पोस्टिंग पवन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का हम दिखाते हैं, वैसे ही नीमा का भी अपने को करना है। पवन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में हमने परचेस किया है 38,700, जो हमारे क्रेडिट साइड में आ गया है। तो ये क्रेडिट साइड में 38,700 हमको पता चल जाता है पवन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से हमने परचेस किया है 38,700 का कुछ सामान, और हमको उनके देना है, ड्यू है ये हम, तो वो हमारे क्रेडिटर है, हम उनको पैसा देना है। ओके, तो प्लीज गो अहेड रचित।
Thank you, ma'am. Next book is purchase return book. What is purchase return? You might have known. You have known that purchase return. Whenever the goods you have purchased, if it is defective or if you don't like that good, then you can return. Some supplier may take this, some supplier may not take. Most of the business to business transaction. That means when you are dealing with one business to another business, you are also doing business. Your supplier is also doing business. That is business to business transaction. So when you are doing such a transaction, most of the supplier takes such a goods or defective goods. How to, in purchase return book only credit whatever you purchase from credit, if it is defective, then return such a goods, then such a transaction comes under purchase return book. Only credit. If you purchase for cash, it doesn't comes here. And there is another concept here, that is debit note. What is a debit note? For purchases, if you buy any goods, you get invoice for that. For purchase return, what should you do? You have to prepare a debit note for that. It is a proof that you are returning a goods. That is a standard way of communication. Therefore, by creating a debit note, you are saying the supplier that I want to return the goods. So let me allow to make the let me allow to return the goods. So the source document for purchase return book is the debit note. Debit note debit note will contain the name book is sales invoice. The one you give, if you have a business, you give the invoice or bill to your customer. So such a bill or invoice is your source documents. Based on that, you have to enter in the sales book. You simply cannot without source document you cannot enter in the sales book. So in short, sales book contains all the credit sales. So uh, this is the format of sales book: your date, your invoice number, your name of the customer, your customer, and your amount column. So let us understand with an example. Your company ABC Limited made some sales during the month. You are asked to prepare sales book by referring sales invoice. You have sales invoice here, ABC Limited. Your customer name is your invoice number is 178. Your customer name is Aman. You have sold a smartphone to him with of 15,000 rupees per piece. That is, you have sold two pieces to him, totaling 30,000, and you did not give any no discount. So how will you record it in uh, uh, sales book? So first write the date, then write invoice number, then you have to write name of the customer, that is Aman. Then you have to write total amount 30,000 as we have seen in invoice. The next person is we have sold the goods is Gokul. So the company is our company is ABC. Invoice number is 179. So we have sold a smart TV to him of worth 25,000. So we have to write here 25,000. So 30,000 plus 25,000 is 55,000. This amount depicts as total credit sales during the month of April, as I have said in purchase book. Then we have to post it to ledger. I have done Aman account and sales account. It's similar to purchase book. Aman account is our debtor. That means he has to give us the amount. So he becomes our asset to our business. So if you want to increase his balance, you have to enter on the debit side. That is 30,000. And in sales account, uh, there is a general rule has said credit all incomes and gains. So if you have any incomes and gains, you have to enter on the credit side of this sales account. So by sundries as per sales account. If you want a detailed explanation of sundries as per, so you have to refer the sales book. I'll complete sales return also. What is sales return book? Say in sales return book, whatever you have sold goods for credit, if such a goods gets back to you, that means your customer gives back the goods to you again, because due to some if it may be the product you have sold may be defective, so he might have returned it to you. So such a transaction you record in sales return book. You must note that it is only a credit sales what you have done, and what you have received is a uh, what you have received is a goods that you have sold for credit. On receipt of goods from customer, a credit note is prepared. That means, has a certain purchase, purchase return. When you send a goods, when you return your goods from to the supplier, you prepare debit note. In the same way, your customer also prepares a debit note. Then he sends it to you. After reading this debit note, you are required to create a credit note. That means telling him that, confirming him that I am ready to, take your goods. That is, whatever I sold, I will take my goods back. That's why we create a credit note. Credit note, without credit note, we are not supposed to enter in the sales return book. This is a source document. Credit note is a source document for sales return book. So this is a format of sales return book. You might for purchase return, sales return, the format is similar. Your date column, you have to write credit number here and name of the customer here and amount. The one smartphone you have sold to Oman in your previous example was defective, was turned defective, and credit note was raised, and you are told to enter the about transaction in sales return book. So this is a credit note. This is your company. This is your customer. Smartphone. This item description 15,000 rate. So total amount is 15,000, and you have to write the if you want, you can write the note here with reference to your debit note number, his debit note number, and you can add remarks to that. The solution for the problem, sales return book, you have the credit note number is 10 20 20. Then the Aman, in the name of the customer is Aman, the amount is 15,000, and on April 30th the total sales return from the credit sales is 15,000 rupees. So then you have to post it to ledger in the sales return account. I want to I have to like push my arm to explain this in English.
जैसे हमने देखा कि परचेस रिटर्न, परचेस बुक परचेस रिटर्न, वैसे ही सेल्स बुक का भी सेल्स रिटर्न। हमारे कंपनी से जैसे हमने कुछ सेल किया एंड वी वर नॉट एबल टू गिव अ गुड क्वालिटी और समथिंग, जो रिटर्न आता है उसको सेल्स रिटर्न बुक, सेल्स रिटर्न में, सेल्स बुक में पहला हम क्रेडिट सेल्स ही एंटर करते हैं। जैसे परचेस बुक में ओनली परचेस, सेल्स बुक में ओनली क्रेडिट सेल्स। सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट क्या होता है, हमारे कंपनी का ही इनवॉइस ही हमारा सेल्स डॉक्यूमेंट हो जाएगा, सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर। सो सेम वे परचेस बुक में कैसा हमारा सिंपल सा था फॉर्मेट, वैसे ही सिंपल सा फॉर्मेट है, डेट, इनवॉइस नंबर, नेम ऑफ द कस्टमर और अमाउंट। तो डेट में हम द डेट ऑफ सेल लिखते हैं, इनवॉइस नंबर, जो इनवॉइस नंबर हमारा जाता है मोस्टली वो क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में ही होता है, नेम ऑफ द कस्टमर जिसको हम सेल करते हैं, लेडजर फोलियो और अमाउंट। तो हमारा कंपनी का नाम है एबीसी लिमिटेड और ये हमारा इनवॉइस होगा, उसका हम सेल्स करते हैं, जो भी सेल करते हैं। ये एक कॉपी है इनवॉइस का, ये तो आप लोग को पता ही होगा। तो इधर देखिए आप, हमको इधर डेट लिखना है, डेट ऑफ सेल, इनवॉइस नंबर, और इनवॉइस नंबर आप देखते हैं मोस्टली क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में ही होगा, एक के पीछे एक ही होगा, क्योंकि हमारी कंपनी से ये सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट बन जाता है तो वो एक के पीछे ही होगा। एंड हम इधर नेम ऑफ द कस्टमर, तो हमको पता चलता है कि किसके हमने सेल किया है ये अमाउंट। तो ये 30,000 हमको मिलना है अमन से, क्योंकि हमने इनको क्रेडिट सेल किया है 30,000 रुपीज। तो ये महीने का एंड में हमको मालूम पड़ जाता है कि अमाउंट कितना हमने सेल किया है एक महीने में। तो ये टोटल अमाउंट हम लेडजर में पोस्ट डायरेक्टली कर देते हैं। हमने देखा था परचेस को हमने डेबिट साइड में किया है, तो सेल्स को हम क्रेडिट साइड में आएगा बाय सन्ड्री एज पर सेल्स बुक। एंड ये एक ही अमन का ही हमने एंट्री दिखाया है आपके लिए, जस्ट एक एग्जांपल के लिए। तो ये टू सेल्स 30,000। सेल्स रिटर्न जैसे परचेस रिटर्न है वैसे ही सेल्स रिटर्न है। जैसे परचेस को हम कभी कभी वापस करना पड़ता है, वैसे हमको सेल्स को भी कभी कभी वापस लेना भी पड़ता है। परचेस में हमारा सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट था डेबिट नोट, यहाँ हम क्रेडिट नोट बनाते हैं। क्रेडिट नोट बना के ये क्रेडिट नोट हमारा सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट बन जाता है सेल्स रिटर्न बुक में एंट्री करने के लिए। तो क्रेडिट नोट में क्या क्या डिटेल्स है, डेट है, क्रेडिट नोट नंबर है, नेम ऑफ द कस्टमर है, लेडजर फोलियो और अमाउंट, इतना ही है। तो अगर हम अमन के पास से जो हमने सेल किया है उससे हमने रिटर्न ले लिया है कोई भी चीज, तो उसका क्रेडिट नोट कैसे दिखेगा ये आपको दिखाएंगे। देखो ये दिखता है क्रेडिट नोट। क्रेडिट नोट हमारे एबीसी कंपनी की तरफ से क्रेडिट नोट इशू किया गया है अमन को, टोटल 15,000 रुपीज का। ये हमारा एंट्री इस तरह हो जाता है, अगस्त 30th, क्रेडिट नोट नंबर, अमन को 15,000 रुपीज। अभी इसको हम लेडजर में एंट्री करते हैं इस तरह से सेल्स रिटर्न अकाउंट में। जस्ट गो बैक रचित, one minute, just go back to the other one, I'll just finish it. Yeah, 15,000 rupees to sundries as per sales return book। सेल्स रिटर्न में इसका ये सेल्स रिटर्न बुक में ये एंट्री हो गया है। ओके रचित, गो अहेड।
Thank you, ma'am. Next is journal proper. You are recorded all the transaction in a business, but there are few transactions which do not fit in the place of cash book or either purchase book, purchase return, sales return. It doesn't fit under any of the categories I have mentioned. Where do you enter such a transaction? So we have to enter it in the journal proper. This is like what whichever transaction does not fit under, it is not a cash transaction, it's not a credit purchase transaction, then we have to enter it on the journal proper. So what type of transaction comes under journal proper? purchase or sale of items on credit other than goods. So suppose you are running a bakery, you have purchased a furniture for your bakery, then such a transaction you have to enter on the journal proper. How will be journal proper? Journal proper will be similar to your journal entry. You have to write here journal entry. It's like if you have purchased a furniture for your business with by paying cash, furniture account debit to cash account, because cash account is getting credited because the cash balance is getting decreased, and furniture and asset is coming into your business, so you have to debit it. So if you have goods withdrawn by the owner for personal use also, then it will be reflected in journal proper. So this is all about subsidiary books. So I'd like Pushpa to explain about journal proper.
तो हमने देख लिया है कैश बुक, बैंक बुक, परचेस बुक, परचेस रिटर्न बुक, सेल्स रिटर्न बुक। लास्ट हम आते हैं जर्नल प्रॉपर। ये जर्नल प्रॉपर क्या है? जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन ये सब बुक्स में नहीं होता है वो जर्नल प्रॉपर के थ्रू हो जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जो हम बिजनेस के लिए मशीन खरीदते हैं, वो हमारे मशीन जो खरीदते हैं वो हमारे एसेट हो जाता है, तो ये सब हमारे जर्नल प्रॉपर से आता है। जर्नल प्रॉपर हम पहले लास्ट क्लास में भी हम देख चुके हैं कि जर्नल एंट्री कैसे पास किया जा सकता है। जो भी जर्नल एंट्रीज हम पास करते हैं वो हम बुक में रखते हैं, उसको हम जर्नल प्रॉपर कहते हैं। तो इसी तरह हमारा सब्सिडरी बुक्स के बारे में आज हमने सीख लिया है। चलो आगे जाके टेस्ट दे दीजिए सब लोग अच्छी तरह से।
So, any
I'd
doubt?
like to revise.
Yes, if they are having, we will take some specific questions. Yeah, you could continue, Doctor. Yes, speak. Why asset purchased on credit is not there in purchase book?
Should I answer, ma'am? Answer the
Yes,
question?
yes.
Yeah.
The question is why the fix. The question is fixes is purchased. Why isn't it coming in purchase book? Am I correct now?
Yes.
Yes.
Fixed asset purchase is does not come under purchase book, because in purchase book we record only. Let me show you the slide there. Purchase book. I have made this sentence in red. We record in purchase book, we record only purchase of goods which are sold on credit. Only goods. In goods, the fixed assets doesn't come. All the fixed assets, if you have purchased fixed assets, then you have to record it in journal proper. That is here in journal proper. I hope I have clarified your doubt.
Yes. Okay, sharing the test link. Wish you all the best.
I'd like to thank Sampurna Shiksha for giving me this opportunity. And this is a win-win situation, if I have to say. On the one hand, you the students get to learn, and on the other hand, it improves the presenter, the communication skill. I'd like Sampurna Shiksha for giving such a platform for me.
We are glad to have you, Rachit, and we had a wonderful session today. We would like to thank you from everyone, from the team Sampurna Shiksha, and from on behalf of all the participants. What about the payments to creditors? Where is the record of creditors?
Payment to creditors.
It will go in the cash book, no? When you're doing cash or bank book, wherever you're doing payment.
Yeah, exactly.
So if for example you are paying Aman, if you are paying Aman, it will come as a payment on the credit side of your bank book, and you will write there by Aman.
Yes. And the record of the creditors would be, you can manage the creditor ledger account. So you will get the entire details. So the ledger we had learned in the last class, that would be helpful for you. Any other questions? We are still there for another 5 minutes. I'm also posting the testing on the Facebook Live video, so that if anybody is online through Facebook today.
Yes, today
Yesterday.
test number 4.
Yeah, it's not 5, so that's okay.
Vishwanathan, can you hear?
I could not hear the answer.
Yeah, Vishwanathan, can you hear? Please write in your chat box if you can hear.
Yes, the class is.
So Vishwanathan, when you are paying Aman, your creditor, it will come on the credit side of your bank book or cash column or bank column as you have made the payment. If you have paid by cash, it will come by Aman in your cash book, or if you have paid by bank, then it will come by Aman in your bank column. Is that clear now?
Okay, the test link is by mistakenly given for the another thing I am sharing. My,
If you go to the Aman's account in your ledger, you will know the balance outstanding to be paid to him.
I'm just sharing the test. 2 minutes.
Particular asset of capital asset also you will have the account, no? When you are purchasing an asset on credit, you will debit machinery account and credit the person. If you purchase account from purchase machinery from Mr. X, you will say debit machinery and credit X. So when you go to X account, you will know how much amount is payable to him.
Okay. So here is the new test link session.
Welcome.
Kindly go and submit the test. One more question. Supermarkets, they issue credit note for cash sales. No. Why? Only yes. When there is a return, they will give you credit memo. Okay, understatement of closing